In 1949, the world witnessed a major turning point in history. The Chinese Communist Party, led by Mao Zedong, emerged victorious after years of brutal civil war. The opposing forces, the Kuomintang under Chiang Kai-shek, were forced to retreat. Most fled to Taiwan, but not all made it out. Some were left behind. Stranded, they retreated further south, through mountains, forests, and treacherous terrain, until they reached the remote border region between Myanmar, Thailand, and Laos. And it was there that a darker story began. Led by a mysterious man named Khun Sa, these remnants of the Kuomintang managed to seize control of a hidden and wild territory, an area untouched by government, inhabited only by isolated mountain tribes. By 1950, with vengeance in their hearts and secret backing from the anti-communist United States, the Kuomintang tried to establish a rebel base, their mission to fight back against communist China. But reality hit hard. They were exhausted, out of money, supplies running dangerously low. Meanwhile, Mao Zedong's forces had locked down southern China with an iron grip. Desperation set in. And then, an opportunity revealed itself. An opportunity that grew in the ground beneath their feet: opium. Unknowingly, they had settled in one of the world's most lucrative opium-growing zones, a geographic belt known for its ideal conditions. A region that would later be infamously named the Golden Triangle. Stretching across northeastern Myanmar, northwestern Thailand, and northern Laos, this triangle became their new battlefield, not of guns and grenades, but of drugs, influence, and power. With approval from Chiang Kai-shek himself, the Kuomintang seized control of the opium trade in Myanmar. The profits used to fund their operations, buy weapons, feed soldiers, and stay alive. Their officers, once battlefield commanders, quickly transformed into drug lords. Using their old political connections, they partnered with anti-communist businessmen and officials across Laos, Thailand, and South Vietnam. Through these alliances, the Kuomintang dominated trade routes and poppy fields, building a drug empire that spanned countries. And while they had lost their homeland, they now ruled the underworld. One of their key markets, Hong Kong, still under British rule at the time. But here's the twist. Instead of cracking down, British colonial authorities chose to look the other way. Rather than confront the growing drug problem, they opted for economic calm over chaos. And so the defeated Kuomintang, once nationalists fighting for China, had become the unseen kings of the Golden Triangle. This is not just a story of loss, it's a story of reinvention, of how power, politics, and profit can reshape history, even in the most unexpected and darkest of ways. Darkest of Khun Sa was not always the powerful name feared across Southeast Asia. He started as a young fighter, just another youth within the Kuomintang ranks. Early in his military career, Khun Sa formed his own small youth unit under Kuomintang command. Within a short time, his group grew rapidly in strength and influence. But disappointment soon followed. As time passed, Khun Sa watched the Kuomintang lose its direction. What had once been a political army resisting communist rule was now becoming a shadow of its former self, more focused on opium trade than liberation. Disillusioned, Khun Sa saw a golden opportunity. Instead of pulling away, he made a bold choice. He would stay inside the Kuomintang, but use its structure and protection to build his own opium empire behind the scenes. This decision marked the beginning of his rise to power in the world of international narcotics. In 1963, Khun Sa received support from the Burmese government. He was granted official permission to form a paramilitary organization and drug syndicate known as the Ka Kwe Ye, or KKY. This group had two missions: fight rebel forces within Myanmar and operate illegal businesses, especially opium trafficking. The headquarters of KKY was located in a small Burmese town called Laos, and surprisingly, the Myanmar military at that time officially recognized the organization as territorial guards. One of their key tasks? To fight against the Shan State Army, a powerful local rebel group. In return, the Burmese government gave Khun Sa exclusive rights to use this territory for opium processing and heroin distribution. But here's something curious. Khun Sa wasn't his real name. He abandoned his original Chinese identity and adopted a new one. In the Burmese language, Khun Sa means Prince of Prosperity, and this new name perfectly reflected the empire he was building. By the late 1960s, Khun Sa had become one of the most powerful drug lords in Myanmar. At the same time, global demand for opium-based drugs was exploding. Ironically, efforts by governments to crack down on the drug trade only made things worse. As law enforcement increased, the risk of trading opium rose, and so did its price. Sensing this shift, Khun Sa made another game-changing move. He transitioned from selling raw opium to producing and trafficking heroin. Why? Because heroin was smaller, easier to smuggle, more stable in price, and much more profitable. Then came the Vietnam War. US soldiers stationed in Vietnam became a key market for cheap heroin sold by various groups, including Khun Sa's syndicate, corrupt military officers, and other criminal networks. As a result, addiction among American troops skyrocketed. And soon after, the heroin crisis hit the United States. By this time, Khun Sa's influence extended across Myanmar, Thailand, and Laos. This region would soon be known as the Golden Triangle, the largest narcotics production zone in Asia. This wasn't just a warlord's rise, it was a masterclass in how power, politics, and drugs could reshape an entire region, and how one man, Khun Sa, would become the Prince of Opium.